Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So today's episode comes to you courtesy of the amazing folks over at Custom Dragon Highlander. And if you have not heard of Custom Dragon Highlander, well, you've got to check out their amazing community. One that, well, focuses on amazing custom cards and challenges like this one. A huge thank you to Alno for putting together this challenge. We're talking about Capcom. Yes, Capcom Commander, some incredible characters from this. These cards are awesome. They are amazing. They are worthy of the name of their characters from Capcom that, well, I have been familiar with for such a long time. A giant fan of the Marvel vs. Capcom games back in the day. Those arcade games, absolutely love them. Let's jump into the top 10. So first up, coming in at 10th place from SuperNerd, we've got Felicia, Relentlessly Optimistic, a 3/4 Cat Bard ally with first strike that costs 4 mana in Naya. Non-human creatures you control get +X/+X for X the number of humans you control. Everyone please help. 2 in a red tap. Non-human creatures you control gain first strike and trample until end of turn. And this is what SuperNerd had to say about the design. I picked Felicia from the Darkstalkers series as she's one of my favorite Capcom characters. She's a 3/4 with first strike to represent her highly agile but otherwise well-rounded playstyle with a little extra toughness due to just how durable Darkstalkers are in the universe, while her activated ability is based on one of her superpowers from the games in which she calls her fellow Catwomen to pummel the opponent. For her passive, I base it on her primary goal in the story, that being improve relations and coexistence between humans and non-humans. I spent some time debating whether to alter it to include a bonus for human creatures, but ultimately decided against it as I didn't want to bloat the card too heavily. I also gave her the Bard and Ally types, the former due to her work as a performer and the latter as it felt fitting. Ultimately, I want to make a commander that focused on synergizing both human and non-human creatures while also themselves being relatively straightforward and letting the unique strengths of the player's other creatures shine. Well, SuperNerd, I think you did a great job with all of those goals. I love just the push and pull of having like a human, non-human deck, getting different benefits from this, getting different benefits from that, an incredible activated ability as well. I overall love the design. Love the Naya colors for this one as well. Congratulations, SuperNerd, on your 10th place finish. But now let's move on to 9th place from Dorco. We've got Virgil Darkslayer, a 2/3 Devil Human for 3 mana in Dimir. Whenever Virgil Darkslayer attacks, target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn. On top of that, whenever you surveil, draw, then discard a card. And this is what Dorco had to say about the design. Virgil has always been one of my favorite characters in gaming, known for his cool, intelligent, and megalomaniac-type demeanor, who always strives for more power and to be the best, if not at least better than his filthy, human-esque brother Dante. I feel the colors Dimir represent his character wonderfully, someone who would do anything for more power. I wanted to show his abilities through the card, specifically Judgment Cut, and I wanted it to show off his intelligence and capability of finding information he needs, such as when he learned about his past in Mundus. I should say right here, spoiler alert, just in case for any of these. There we go, just a little bit. Eventually trying to breaking down Mundus' organization and revealing its hidden background, which was done through Surveil. Some of my main priorities and philosophies when making cards is simplicity, efficiency, and effectivity. I prefer cards that don't take up too much space and do what they need to do and do it well. Virgil, in this instance, thrives in a Surveil-themed deck, not only drawing cards when you need to Surveil, but using those draws to remove creatures on the board. It works great with cards like Doom Whisperer, Disinformation Campaign, Enhanced Surveillance, and Starving Revenant. The commander itself doesn't require you to lean all the way into the Surveil type of deck, as you can get value from its first ability without relying on Surveil, but doing so allows you to pick off larger and generally scarier threats. Well, Dorco, yeah, this is a great, simplistic encapsulation of Virgil, and I love it. Very effective, very efficient, taking out other bigger creatures. That is huge, and I love that Surveil aspect, giving you that additional benefit, that additional draw, discard, that additional looting. Love it. A really cool design. Congratulations, Dorko, again on your 9th place finish. Moving on, though, we've got 8th place from Beastro. We've got one of my favorite characters of all time from my childhood, Mega Man Adaptive Hero, a 2/3 legendary artifact creature construct for 3 mana in Jeskai. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Mega Man Adaptive Heroes this turn dies, exile it. Mega Man Adaptive Hero has all activated abilities of cards exile with it. Tap, it deals 1 damage to any target. And this is what Beastro had to say about the design. For my Capcom card, I wanted to honor the series that truly got them to the map, so I chose to make Mega Man. I hope the flavor is inherent to the card, with Mega Man taking the abilities of cards he kills. I understand that is a bit of a flavor fail letting you kill your own creatures, but I feel that this is necessary to make this flavor sacrifice for gameplay reasons. Otherwise, I hope I capture the spirit of Mega Man in this card. Well, Beastro, you most definitely did. I was really excited to see that you brought in the power stealing aspect of Mega Man. Absolutely love it. And of course, that little pinging effect too, just like a pew, just taking out creatures is great. Of course, I would incorporate untap effects with this commander. I would incorporate extra damage effects with this commander. I would incorporate, well, where you can find it on pieces of equipment, Death Touch as well. Hoping your opponents get out some really cool cards with some really cool activate abilities and saying, that's mine now. That's mine now. That's mine now. Being able to make Mega Man into a massive threat. Of course, also building around potentially certain creatures in your own deck that you want Mega Man to gain the abilities of. A really spicy commander, one that can do a lot of really cool things, and the flavor is just oozing out of this commander. I love the design. Congratulations again, Beastro, on your 8th place finish. Next up, though, to on to 7th place from Case of Cheese. We've got Dahlia Teen Angel / Dahlia True Vengeance. First up, Dahlia Teen Angel is a 1/3 human rogue for 4 mana in Grixis. Whenever a creature you control dealt damage by Dahlia Teen Angel dies this turn, suspect and goad target creature to opponent controls. Whenever a goaded creature deals combat to a player, untap Dahlia and draw a card. Tap, Dahlia deals damage equal to its power to target creature. You can also disturb this back out. The backside is that True Vengeance, a 3/5 spirit demon. Whenever Dahlia True Vengeance enters the battlefield or attacks, gain control target goaded creature, it's no longer goaded. As long as you control a creature you don't own, Dahlia has ward, goad a creature you control that isn't goaded. If Dahlia put a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. And this is what Case of Cheese had to say about the design. I chose Dahlia Hawthorne because she's my favorite villain in the Ace Attorney series, and she just might be the most evil one. Dahlia spent most of her life killing people that cared about her, hence her card caring about killing your own creatures, and then framing someone else for the murder, as seen in her ability to suspect and goad other creatures. Even in death, her serial killings didn't stop, as seen on the backside Dahlia True Vengeance, where her ghost possessed the body of her twin sister, which explains you gain control of their creatures. One way to play Dahlia might be an aristocrat-style type deck that specializes in ways to give Dahlia Death Touch and possibly other ways to untap her besides just her own ability. Of course, you'll also need 2 other goat effects for this deck to really shine. Well, Case of Cheese, my goodness, this is a spicy design. Taking out your own creatures, taking control of your opponent's creatures, just doing some really cool things with this one. Absolutely love the potential for this. Being able to, again, utilize untap effects like you said. Being able to utilize other kind of damaging effects like you said. It's absolutely a cool design. A really cool direction for Grixis. I love having a disturbed commander. Very cool. Congratulations again, Case of Cheese, on your 7th place finish. But now let's go on to 6th place from Christian with Chief Damon Gant, a 3/3 human detective for 3 mana in Dimir. Collect evidence 4. Investigate. Any player may activate this ability once during each of their turns, but only as a sorcery. Whenever a player investigates, you may sacrifice 3 clues. When you do, create a token's copy of target creature that player controls. And this is what Christian has to say about the design. Damon Gant is often shown to be fairly friendly and helpful, so I wanted to give him a group hug type effect to reflect that. And with Karlov mana previews going on at the time while I was designing that card, using Collect Evidence seemed like a great way to represent that for an Ace Attorney character, especially since he's the chief of police and it was a detective until he was promoted to that position. I also wanted a mechanic to represent how he can control and blackmail others, but I don't find theft fun, so I've went with copying instead and tied to his previous ability. Major plot point was using fake evidence to blackmail someone, so it felt flavorful to tie in abilities like that. Well, Christian, definitely flavorful and definitely a very cool design. Being able to give anyone the ability to collect evidence, being able to give anyone the ability to investigate and say, hey, go for it, investigate, do so. But when you do, well, I can just utilize my clues. I can utilize that to make copies of your creatures. I can utilize that to have the best position on the board. I absolutely love this. Being able to just use some ways that can work with clues, use some ways to give yourself even more clues, have everyone investigate. I absolutely love this design. Very, very cool. Congratulations, Christian, on your 6th place finish. Next up, though, at 5th place from Scorsese, we've got, and my apologies for mispronouncing any names in this episode because it's bound to happen, Valhazak, Apex of Decay, a 5/5 Elder Dragon with Menace and Toxic 3 for 5 mana in black. When it enters the battlefield, choose any number of creatures target player controls, put X -1/-1 counters on each of those creatures, where X is half the creature's toughness rounded down, escape for 5 and a black, exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. And this is what Scorsese had to say about the design. Living amongst the detritus of the Monster Hunter universe is the fearsome Valhazak, Apex of Decay. It's devastating. Efflulia Breath can have your hunter's max HP before landing a killing blow. I tried to embody this brutal ability with this card's ETB effect. To build on that, you could realize its escape ability, along with other forms of recursion to repeat this effect. Be sure to use some proliferate effects to continually stack those counters on your opponents and their creatures, as Valhazak blankets the battlefield in a thick miasmic haze. So don't forget your Nullberries, or this Elder Dragon just might take your breath away. Well, Scorsese, absolutely. My goodness, that ETB is deadly. That ETB is disgusting. Proliferate effects are going to be amazing with this. Also, yes, getting it back with Escape, and of course with those Feign Death type effects. So I could see this commander utilizing some Sacrifice Outlets, utilizing Feign Death, utilizing, of course, Conjurer's Closet as well. But yeah, a really cool commander. One with that Toxic 3 that can be so deadly. Give it Double Strike with some equipment. Have it hit your opponents. Get through. Take your opponents out. Take their creatures out. Give them absolutely every reason to fear Valhazak, Apex of Decay. A very cool design, Scorsese. Congratulations on your 5th place finish. Moving on to 4th place from Crumble Butter, we've got Dante Smokin' Sexy Style and Virgil Alpha and Omega. Dante is a 3/3 human demon for 4 mana and Rakdos. Partners, of course, with Virgil. First Strike and Prowess. Boast for a red. Exile the top X card your library, or exit a different number of card types among those cards played this turn. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Virgil Alpha and Omega is a 3/3 demon human for 4 mana in Dimir. Partners, of course, with Dante. First Strike and Prowess. Boast for a blue mana. The next time you cast a spell from exile this turn, copy it for each other different card type among cards you played this turn. You may choose targets for the copies. And this is what Crumble Butter had to say about the design. Dante and Virgil are iconic characters in the Capcom catalog. I wanted to try and capture their similarities and differences through color and mechanics using a combo style, card type matter style of gameplay, especially alongside Prowess. The boast mechanic is great for promoting an attacking style and thematically match the personalities of both characters. Overall, I think they can provide a lot of value, especially in combination as a dual Voltron style, but the pips and the cost make it difficult to get them fighting alongside each other. My goodness, Crumble Butter, what a great job of just including these two. Again, I love that you're pointing out the similarities. You're pointing out the differences. You're making them not work too well together when it comes to trying to get them both out at the same time. And I love that aspect of saying it's difficult to do, but if you can do it, my goodness, how powerful can this be? Some really cool effects. I love that boast. Again, be aggressive, be hard-hitting. Absolutely love the potential of these. Congratulations, Crumble Butter, on your 4th place finish. Next up, though, at 3rd place from Mr. Blimp, we've got Magnolo, Weirin of Malice, a 4/4 cat beast that costs 5 mana in Jund. Whenever a creature power 3 or greater enters the battlefield, you may have it fight that creature. Magnolo fight that creature. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Magnolo this turn dies, you get a counter on Magnolo. And then whenever it deals combination to a player, that player loses X life, sacrifices X creatures, discards X cards, or X the number of counters on Magnolo. And this is what Mr. Blimp had to say about the design. Magnolo is the flagship monster of Monster Hunter Rise. This creature holds a special place for me as it marked my initiation into Monster Hunter universe, now one of my more cherished game series. The card's concept draws from the Turf War event in the game where monsters fight when winding up in the same area. In its Hellfire ability, powered by consuming monsters, this ability, reminiscent of Torment of Hailfire, inflicts substantial damage, sacrifice creatures, and force discards. The inspiration behind the mechanics was to capture the essence of the Hellfire stats in Monster Hunter, which deals significant damage to any player or creature it touches. Life loss has an AoE effect, sacrifice, and requires the use of items to get rid of, discard. As a commander, Magnolo thrives on swift deployment to engage in combat and grow, synergizing with abilities triggered by creatures' deaths or counters for a more strategic advantage. Well, Mr. Blimp, my goodness, you have created a monster! This thing is so spicy, so heavy hitting, so devastating that the second that I see this at the table, I am going to be incredibly scared. Because, yeah, Torment of Hellfire, this is reminiscent of, and this has so much potential, a fantastic design, so many different synergies that you can work with, counter synergies, power synergies, just absolutely terrifying. Congratulations on your third place finish for your fantastic design, Mr. Blimp. Next up, at second place, we've got Spaceman's design, Amatarasu Celestial Sun God, a 4/4 Wolf God for 4 mana. You might think of mono white, but not quite. As long as it's day, it gets +1 as indestructible. Whenever it comes day, you may have a God card from your hand on the battlefield, and then you can pay Wooburg until end of turn. Amaterasu gains all active abilities and triggered abilities of other God creatures you control. If it's neither night or day, it becomes day. So, this is what Spaceman had to say about the design. Amaterasu, Goddess of the Sun, and star of a great game from the mid-2000s. I wanted to make a card that finally made use of day-night mechanic. Card like Amaterasu seemed like the perfect choice. I would try and build this commander in a way that could force day-night cycle to constantly switch back in the deck with both gods and maybe a few ways to change the creature type of creatures on and off the battlefield. Well, Spaceman, my goodness, I love it. I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for 5-color commanders, and this is a spicy one. I love that it gives you access to all those day-night shenanigans that you can do. I love the god aspect of it as well. And to just give all those activating triggered abilities to this commander, oh my goodness, the craziness that can go on is absolutely absurd. Your opponents will not know what hit them, and they really are going to have a hard time of taking this out when it becomes day. When it comes day, you can just do so many cool things. I absolutely love this. Absolutely a great design. Congratulations, Spaceman, on your second place finish. But now, finally, the moment that you've all been waiting for. At first place from Boros, we've got Dr. Wily, Nemesis of Light. That's right, we had Mega Man. Now we've got to have Dr. Wily, a 0/5 human scientist for 4 mana, every color but green. Whenever a legendary artifact creature you control enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent faces a villainous choice. You draw a card and put a counter on that creature, or they discard a card and that creature deals damage equal to its power to them. Boros had this to say about the design. Dr. Wily is one of my favorite villains in gaming history, and I knew I wanted to do something fun and flavorful for him. Since greenless is the Artifice color combo, those colors seem to be perfect for legendary artifact creature matters theme. Similarly, the villainous choice ability fits so well flavorfully, allowing your opponents to choose between powering up you and your robot masters or taking some damage to keep you weaker. For deck building between Doctor Who, Warhammer Transformers, you certainly won't lack for cool evil artifact creatures to torture your foolish opponents with. Who's the genius now? Well, Boros, you're the genius with this design. It's an incredible design. I love that push and pull. I love that tough decision your opponent's going to have. Do you make them more powerful, or do you take some extra punishment now? And yes, artifact, creature, legendary, tribal, absolutely love it. Fantastic choice for everything but green. I think you really encapsulate everything that is Dr. Wily, the nemesis of light. I love the design. Congratulations again, Boros, on your first place finish. And just a reminder, if you are interested in joining this amazing community, make sure you check out that Discord invite link in the description below. And again, a massive thank you to everyone who submitted their designs for this contest, and a huge thank you to Alno for putting this all together. And with that, this episode is coming to a close, so let me know your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.